DaBaby's music career is in critical condition with his last 2 court cases that he's now involved in. These court cases have the potential to sentence DaBaby into several years in prison. You need to hear about this, so let's get straight into it. Now the case starts on January 7th. Rapper DaBaby was out shopping inside of a Montclair store. When at the cash register and paying for his goods, the worker at the register noticed that DaBaby had a firearm tucked into his waistband. It was visible as DaBaby was getting his wallet out of his pocket and his shirt tended to lift up. Once paying for his goods, the man working behind the counter quickly called law enforcement while DaBaby was walking out of the store. When he arrives to his vehicle, that's when law enforcement quickly surrounded him, forcing DaBaby to turn his vehicle off and exit the car. Law enforcement ended up bringing out everyone they had. They had multiple squad cars as well as a canine unit. They heavily searched throughout the car when they suddenly found a firearm tucked into the side of the seat where DaBaby was sitting at the time. DaBaby was then arrested on site. He was taken into jail. Meanwhile, all of this happening, the store worker who called law enforcement was actually outside recording the entire event on his cell phone. Yes, you heard me right. The store worker called law enforcement on DaBaby after noticing the firearm. That worker then exited the Montclair store. Whether he was on break or not, I'm not sure. He then proceeded to pull out his cell phone and record DaBaby getting arrested on the street for whatever reason. Now, DaBaby having a firearm on him is a very serious deal. Not only because he doesn't have a firearm license, it's because of what he did with his previous court case that everyone needs to hear. Now, DaBaby confirmed on video that he was involved in an act that was committed inside of a Huntersville Walmart around 6:30 p.m. on November 5th in 2018. On November 5th, DaBaby was shopping inside of Walmart with his baby mama and his 2 children that were ages 1 and 5 at the time. While shopping, an individual came inside of the Walmart with a firearm. He was causing a major scene. It could have resulted in something very terrible. We're not still aware if he was under the influence or anything, as allegedly he was underage, so everything is kept quiet in those circumstances. Now this is when rapper DaBaby pulled out his firearm and used it towards the individual. He dealt with the situation before his own family or any innocent shoppers got affected by it. Now DaBaby spoke about this situation even though his lawyers told him to keep silent. DaBaby mentioned that he's not going to let anyone get the chance to touch his family, which is something I really respect him for. Now at the time, DaBaby did not have a firearm license. He was holding one illegally, as well as the firearm itself being illegally with the serial number scratched off. He did save the day for many in that Walmart, but it still does not mean he's off the hook for holding an illegal firearm, which it does make sense, but it also doesn't at the same time. Now DaBaby was given a pass for being a hero in that situation. It could have resulted in a lot of innocent people being involved in something very tragic. He was also told to never hold a firearm again, which he obviously broke that rule in the first case that we just spoke about. Now, due to DaBaby's criminal history, it's starting to look as if DaBaby will be facing a prison sentence for the case we just spoke about at the start of the video, as this is not his first time that he has held a firearm when he wasn't allowed to. DaBaby's first arrest occurred on June 15th in 2013. The Charlotte Police Department allegedly caught DaBaby with possession and carrying, once again, a concealed firearm. Now these were both misdemeanors in North Carolina. DaBaby was then held on $500 bond. Obviously he was released later that day. But the final outcome of the case is undocumented, as we would imagine it wasn't anything too serious, as well as records from 2013. A lot of them actually got wiped off the database. DaBaby's second arrest happened then on December 16th in 2013. Details are once again scarce on this arrest. Online records show that DaBaby was charged with misdemeanor of possession again. This is literally all I can find, but it shows the trend of DaBaby's behavior, which is something that will be brought up in the court case of his most recent case. And then just to make matters worse, in 2016, DaBaby was then arrested again for possession of a firearm on city property. Now this is probably one of the worst things that you can do, holding an illegal firearm on city property. Either way, DaBaby is going to be in some sort of trouble heading into this court case, as he cannot be holding a firearm due to his criminal history of having one. Now, it makes total sense why DaBaby is holding a firearm. Being a multi-platinum and huge rapper, you should be having security to hold it for you at this point in his music career. As most rappers say, they would rather be caught with it than without it, so DaBaby having it is not a surprise to me, in all honesty. But this is where DJ Academics' advice that he gives to all rappers comes in play. You're either going to be a rapper who still lives the street lifestyle, and then having some sort of crime committed will ruin it all for you, or you give up the street type of lifestyle, hire security so they can do it for you, and you just live a successful music career while making millions of dollars for you and your family. Now obviously DaBaby, he didn't have security with him on that day, which could mean why he had the firearm, and he just got super unlucky that somebody saw it tucked in his waistband. But having a prison sentence when you're a very hot rapper at the current time is, honestly, it puts your entire career into critical condition, and here's why. The average career lifespan of a rapper who's not, Drake, Post Malone, all of those really big guys, is actually 2 to 5 years. DaBaby, he could be into the section of being one of the greats, but still, you have to imagine that any sort of prison sentence that's 5+ years, it will affect your music career in a huge way. Him getting locked up for any amount of years is going to have a huge issue on his music career, and it's going to put it into critical condition. Just like Pooh Shiesty's situation that he's involved in. Now, Shiesty's a much newer rapper than DaBaby. DaBaby is much more established, but still, Pooh Shiesty's music career is about to vanish from his eyes due to the fact that he wanted to continue living the street lifestyle as a successful rapper, and now he's paying the price when he's about to be sentenced to life in prison for having a bunch of surveillance footage and evidence going against him, heading into his court case that starts on October 25th. Now anyways guys, I am going to be ending the video here, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.